Let's fight, folks. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, we are delighted. We are happy that you're here with us. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. You're going to want to share the live. You're going to want to smash that emoji button, good folks. Come, let me go down the road. We got a lot to talk with you about tonight. Folks, share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. We're fired up at this end, good folks. And we are ready to go. We're hoping that you guys are hearing us loud and clear. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, realize we're peaking a little bit. We're going to try to solve that. But good to have each and every one of you with us, good folks, tonight. Wherever you are joining us from, we are privileged to have each and every one of you with us, good folks. We are privileged to have you all here. So share that live, smash that emoji button wherever you're joining us from tonight, folks. Wherever you're picking us up from tonight, rock and come in. Good to see you, Robertson and Barbara. I see Barbara Vaughn. I see Denise Booker as well. I see Kevin Pierce, Diane Graves-Andy. Good to see each and every one of you, good folks, wherever you are joining us from tonight. Forgive us. We seem to got a little static in the line, folks. We can take what we can get tonight and wait for what we want. We are delighted that y'all are here with us. Wherever you are joining us from tonight, folks, we are privileged, nothing short of privilege, that each and every one of you here with us. Riri Mingo, we see you there. Penelope Hudson, Debbie Apple, we see you as well. Eliot Miggins, we see you too. Ayabo, Natasha Congreves, good to see you as well. Michael, Jack, good to see you. Jacques, good to see you. If you're hearing us loud and clear, folks, do let us know you're seeing us loud and clear. Good to have you here with us. Chin Singh, good to have you. Wickedness in high places as we come on. We're talking about one thing tonight. One thing is one of those nights. It's a one-topic show tonight. One topic. Dharamlall must go. That's what we're talking about. Andrew Griffith, Wilton Blue, and Nadia, good to see you. Kim, Angela Jordan, good to have you. Angela, Wilton Blue, Chisel, Chipper, Bradham. Good to have you, Chisel, Wilma, Leon Blair, Annalicia, Joylyn Cook, Stacey and Stoll. Good to have each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from, folks, we are happy. We are delighted that you folks are here with us. Folks, we set. We know the whole thing. We know the whole thing. We set at this end, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, wherever you're joining us from tonight, good folks, we're happy that you guys are here with us. We are delighted. We're going to get some of the preliminaries out of the way. Folks, the Alistair Collins firm. Now you need a reliable and professional assistance with your important documents. Look no further. The Alistair Collins firm. Alistair Collins, he's a renowned commissioner of votes to affidavits and justice of the peace, good folks. And justice of the peace. Yep. And he himself and team, they're here to serve you at the Alistair Collins firm. Conveniently located at the Kalyan Mall, Lamaha Street, between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Contact Alistair Collins and his team today at 649-6410. With years of experience, good folks, years of experience and a commitment to excellence, the Alistair Collins firm and its team, dedicated folks. They're your go-to experts for all your documentation needs. All your documentation needs, folks. And we'll be lying to you if we tell you we didn't need your partnership. North Road Tech One. North Road Tech One. Folks, you need more programs like this. You want to see us keep moving forward? Here is how you can help us to keep moving forward.
Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
That's right.
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in the ring592@gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments. Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
That's right.
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in the ring592@gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments. Want to keep getting the best in the ring.
Yep. That's what we got set for you folks. That is where we are, and that's how you can help us to keep moving forward. That's how you can help us to keep moving on, folks. That's how you can help us to keep moving on so we can do more programs like this. Welcome in the ring, wherever you're joining us from tonight. One thing we're talking about tonight. One thing. Folks, show everything else. Show it that. Show it that. Show everything. Show it away. Show everything. Show everything. Show the judiciary. Show the DPP. Show everything. Everything. Show the screen. Bell everything. Show me everything. We know the whole story. Folks, there's no country like Guyana in the world. You're going to find nothing close to it. Don't even try. You're not going to find nothing close to it. For us, you share the live yet? Annalisa Lovely Queen, you share the live yet? Mona Moses, you share the live? Who would we? Smash that emoji button as well, folks, as we are coming on. A bit of breaking news. You know, we said the fella must go. There's not an ifs or buts. If he want to go, maybe, and all that. He must go. But as we are coming on this evening, folks, the DPP is telling us. Here's what they're saying. The director, well, among things, let me read the police statement, of which we pulled out a quote here. Let me pull up the statement. The Guyana Police Force wishes to inform Alial watching us tonight. Right? They wish to inform the public that early this morning, July 4th, 2023, the case filed in allegation of rape made against Minister Nigel Dharamlall was sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, Shalimar Ali Hack, based on advice for further investigations to be conducted. So they sent back the file. In the statement, they said, consequently, the DPP returned the file this afternoon, containing her legal opinion. That was quick. That was real quick. In her advice, this is the police statement. The DPP disclosed that consideration was given to the fact that the complainant gave a further statement to investigators that she wishes to withdraw her complaint against Minister Dharamlall, and that her decision was not influenced by anyone, and that the same was in her best interest. You can't even vote at 16. You can't even vote at 15. But you know what's in your best interest? And if we take it down. Set piece. It's a set piece. The statement goes on. This is a statement from the Guyana Police Force. Right? This is the statement from the Guyana Police Force. The only one was in her best interest. The DPP also proffered her advice based on the fact that the virtual complainant's statement was taken by a forensic interviewer in the presence of a parent, a child care officer, and the police officer, and a police officer, and that such statement was free and voluntary. After the interrogation, in the light of the above, this is the kicker. The Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimar Ali Hack, concluded that in the absence of the victim's complaint, there is no legal provision for the Guyana Police or for the Guyana Police Force to proceed with the matter. There is no legal provision for the police to proceed with the matter. Are you ever such nonsense? In your whole life, you ever such foolishness? You ever such total confunction nonsense? Well, folks, yesterday was protest. People are giving up. Yesterday was protest. Today was protest. Tomorrow going to be protest. And Blinken coming Thursday. More damn protest. More damn protest. Stay tuned for more on that. Stay tuned for more on that. And as we start with Shalimar Ali, as we start in there, folks, let's give you some of what we saw on those protest lines. You can hear from a member of parliament. You can hear from a member of the Rastafarian community on the protest line. And that's the only way we're starting. That's the only way we're starting, folks. We're going to open a set. Take a look and take a listen. Take a look, folks. Take a listen.
Sharad, there has not been any official statement from the government on this matter at this point in time. We know from intelligence that we have received that this young lady has been moved around while she is in government's protective care. And our intelligence tells us that she has been moved around with the objective of frustrating her. And she has been moved to bad situations. She's uncomfortable. So in fact, what they have done is frustrated this young lady. And she is unable. I can imagine a 16-year-old child that is as intelligent as she is. She would have been frustrated by the process that the government would have undertaken. And that is purposely done, Sharon. Purposely done. Let me say to all of us this afternoon that the Rights of the Child Commission is yet to make a statement on this. The Rights of the Child Commission is yet to tell us what they are doing to help this child. The Rights of the Child Commission is a statutory body that receives finance from the parliament for this kind of work. We're yet to hear from them. We're yet to hear from the religious bodies. We are yet to hear from the CIOG and the Ghanaian Islamic Trust and the Dharmic Sabha, all of them who would come out every now and then to criticize other people. But now they have a function and they have a role to play. We're yet to hear from them. And so we know that that young lady was frustrated into doing what she did. But like the attorney said, that there is no time limit to rape. However, we want to know, and we want the world to know, that Nigel Dharamlall is an elected official. An elected official don't go on administrative leave. Elected officials are taken away from their posts. They are relieved of their posts as ministers of government. They are dismissed. And we are awaiting the dismissal of Nigel Dharamlall for the allegations of rape against that 16-year-old child. Until we get justice for that child, we will continue to be out here. He's a notorious individual. I can tell you from personal experience, being a member of parliament and subjected to his indecent behavior in the National Assembly, I can tell you that nothing good is going to become of Nigel Dharamlall. Nothing. And the tears of the women and the girls in this country, they're always going to be on his shoulder. He should do the right thing, resign as a government minister, and let there be justice for that child.
Many and the pains and the tongue speaketh lies. What if we should understand? This world is not our home. Right. Nations prepare to launch their attacks. From the four corners lingers the smell of death, violence and crime, sorcery and witchcraft, isms and schisms, the world's confusion. But I dream of a world where love pervades the universe, where there is no hunger, no crime, no violence. I dream of a world where black and white live in love and harmony. I dream of a world where world leaders are guided by God the Creator. A world free from sin, free from laborious toil, free from natural disasters. A world where all boys and girls respect each other. I dream of a world where HIV and AIDS do not exist. A world free from pain and sorrow. A world free from corruption, victimization, and racial discrimination. A world without a nuclear threat. A world where there is no longer death. A world where the hearts of men are filled with God's unfailing love. A world where there is one church. A world free from selfishness and greed. A world where all men and women shine as the stars in the heavens. Oh, what a beautiful world that would be. Dharamlall must go! Dharamlall must go! Dharamlall must go! Dharamlall must go!
We know the whole thing. That's what we're telling you all. We know the whole thing, the whole story. If you're now joining us, folks, where the protests held very recently. Scream the revolution. They got more protests coming up, folks. Stay tuned, share the live, smash that emoji button. We heard from our Muslim sister, we heard from our Rastafarian brother. Dharamlall must go. Too many people silent. We hope y'all are like them. Too many folks out there are silent on these issues that matter. You know who is silent? Stabroek News. Stabroek News is silent. Alan Prasad, editor-in-chief, the folks there covering, bringing you valid, credible information, even at Stabroek News, they're silent. And in the editorial we saw over the weekend, folks, them boys know the able. They know the able. Carlin, Ayabo, Diane, they know the able in. They know the able in. Here's some of what Stabroek News said in that editorial over the weekend. Infamy, part 2. Listen to this. Don't come wrong, Stabroek News funny. The complainant, according to Stabroek News, you got to read between the lines here. The complainant muster the courage and resolve from some period prior to her protective care under the Child Protection Agency. She had the courage since then to lodge a complaint with the president, Irfan Ali. She had the courage to launch, to put a complaint, lodge a complaint with the president for around 13 days. This is Stabroek News editorial. For around 13 days thereafter, the complainant maintained her statement and story. The complainant maintained her statement and story and only signaled she did not want to pursue it further when the DPP sought further investigations. So don't come wrong. Stabroek News funny. Don't do it. Stabroek News know the whole thing. The whole thing. Stabroek News know the whole thing. You know who else know the whole thing? Attorney at law Darren Wade. He rubbish this whole statement here by Superintendent Kemraj Shifbaran. Rubbish. There's no further case that said a young woman signs and she wants to take the matter forward. Rubbish that. Rubbish the DPP herself. Throw them in the garbage and throw them away. Put all of them in the garbage. All of them. And let me fling them outside. All of them. All of them. All. Attorney at law, Darren Wade. You know the whole thing. You know the whole story. Take a look. Take a listen.
Since the young lady would have given a further statement stating that she doesn't want to go further with this matter, I want to say to the PPP administration, as Moses said to Pharaoh, let my people go. Let the young lady go. Where we are in this matter, the PPP understands and appreciates that there is no limitation period in this matter, and there is no legal effect of that statement. Soon as that young lady is released and our lawyers are able to meet with her, charges could be instituted against Dharamlall. So they are aware of it, that it is not over. So they are keeping her there and pressing her, interrogating her. They are treating her as a criminal. They have seized her property. They have seized her phone. They have seized her tablet to stymie communication with the outer world. Based upon information being received at 12 o'clock at night, they're interrogating the young woman. This is unacceptable. Why Dharamlall, the alleged rapist, is home sleeping in his fancy big bed? This young lady has to suffer the indecency of being re-victimized by the government of Guyana. They ought not to do it. Let there be an impartial investigation in this matter, and I've been always saying it. Dharamlall, as anyone, is entitled to due process, but we need the system and the protocols to be followed. As an attorney, I could say this to you. I've worked in a lot of these matters. All that is required for Dharamlall to be put before a judge and a jury is for the statement to contain this statement that he placed his penis or any other part of his body in my vagina or any other part of our body without our consent. And I must also say, Sherrod, there is no consent in relation to the issue of buggery or sodomy. So I am perplexed as to why the DPP sent back the file. I am aware of charges being instituted, Sherrod, and the file has to be still going back and forth to the DPP office. And that further statement, the DPP does not follow the further statement.
What if, worst case, the DPP decides not to lay charges? Where are we?
Well, no decision is unfettered. We, as part of the legal team, are prepared to take the DPP to the ICJ. Sanjeev Datta didn't say that they have the CCJ covered in Parliament. That the CCJ is their weapon. The CCJ is the PPP weapon. That was said in Parliament. So we are prepared to go as far as the ICJ. After all of our courts, covering all of the courts within our jurisdiction, if you have to go to the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, we will go there. We will review all decisions of the DPP. We will review the process of this investigation. Everything will be reviewed. And we will not rest until justice is given to this young woman. And all right-thinking members of society, I'm a father of a daughter, Sherrod, must let the voices be heard. The PPP has shown that they are complicit, that they are prepared to protect rapists. They are prepared to protect murderers. They are prepared, the most heinous crimes, they are prepared to protect their people. You can do the world, but once you're the PPP, you are protected. There's no justice in Guyana under the PPP. And I would like to say to the folks in Canada, I see a friend went to church. He went all over in Canada to raise these issues. And Dharamlall in church, but as a Christian, as a man of God, if he should beg for forgiveness, but that does not say he must face the consequences of the law. Yes, Dharamlall, go down on your knees and beg for forgiveness, but you must face the authorities. You must pay your debt to society. If the allegations are true, as it is now that it is alleged, but if the allegations are true, he must pay his debt to society if the allegations are true. And the only way to determine that is before a competent court of law, a court with competence jurisdiction.
Attorney at law Darren Way talking to us there. You know the whole thing. You know the whole thing, folks. The whole story. Want to circle back to that editorial from Stabroek News and what they said on this very matter. On Sunday last, Stabroek News in this matter, Stabroek News said it clearly would have been inadvisable for the complainant to visit the premises where the act allegedly occurred. Remember the Kaishi back by the house? Stabroek News said in its editorial, it would have been inadvisable for the complainant to visit the premises where the act allegedly occurred, as it could have been wholly transformed in an exercise to undermine her case and confidence, to undermine her case and confidence. Fresh painting of the room, removal of furniture, etc. Who advised the complainant in relation to this? This is Stabroek News editorial. There's not New FC, there's not WPA. Stabroek News. Who advised the complainant in relation to this? The Child Protection Agency, the Children's NGO, the police? Stabroek News says it was sheer incompetence. Stabroek News, it was sheer incompetence. Folks, another gentleman who know the whole thing, Member of Parliament Kemraj Ramdachan, leader of the Alliance for Change, and he was also retained by the family, the girl's mother at one point, to represent her interest in signing the statements and a whole host of other stuff. But in the midst of all of that protest over the last 2 days, we sat down with Kemraj and we picked his mind on this matter. Kemraj said, this is gangsterism now in the PPP. Gangsterism in the PPP. That's what he said. Don't take me word for it. Don't take me word for it. Karen, welcome. Barbara Ralph, out fun parts. Deborah Clark. So true, Hector. Kemraj know the whole thing. Kemraj know the whole thing. Take a listen. Take a look.
I make of all of that a massive complicity by lots of state institutions here to literally pressure that girl into not wanting to further any police prosecutions. And in a sense, that has happened. Literally, a prosecution by virtue now of the girl coming with the statement that I am tired, I do not want any further action, means that it has collapsed. At this stage, she could, just like how she changed her mind back after that first social media release, and then Kemraj, Superintendent Shivram, then said that she didn't want police state, and then there was another investigation. So at this stage, if it is final that indeed she does not want any further investigation and she does not want any further police action, it necessarily means that that will be read by the DPP, matter closed in relation to prosecutions. That is a sad day. It is an extraordinary, heinous crime that the minister has done. And from all the statements thus far, leaked and unleaked, that I know of, there was compelling, convincing, cogent evidence that constitute rape and sodomy from the girl. And it is more than that, because as far as I am aware, she indicated monies were passed. And so there was cogent and compelling, convincing evidence of rape and sodomy. And now to go back, all that by virtue of a no further action statement, it shows that state institutions obviously did not do their work. And that is why a heinous crime as this is now going to go unprosecuted. And we will have basically one who ought to have been convicted or at least charged, free in our streets. It is a serious, serious matter. I believe that based on something that recently came out from the Guyana Human Rights Association, that there is a certain prosecutorial code in which sexual offenses like this ought to be treated separately and specially. I hope that some measure is going to be given, a measure of consideration is going to be given to that code, so that notwithstanding the girl doing what she did recently and so on, it could still be reopened towards prosecution by the DPP. I do not know why the file was sent back, because from all that the girl had said before the file went to the DPP constituted all the elements of rape and sodomy. And it is quite clear that probably they were asking for further investigation into the $10 million hush money, or it could be the altered room in that house where the incident happened. But notwithstanding all of that, which could have come later, more in-depth investigations could have come later, he ought to have been charged for rape and sodomy based on what the statements of the girl were. And so it is somewhat intriguing here, because indeed we all know, as a matter of course, young girls like that, vulnerable kids, sexual offenses and all, and now an indigenous girl, all the more vulnerable, means that you have to make the positions comfortable for her. And even if you're keeping her in protective custody, we don't even know where she was being kept. And I, as the lawyer, asked by the mother to go and ensure that the statement is okay, not interfere with the statement, but to at least comfort her. Remember the code and the protocol that the child association, the child agency I talk about, had as the most important and primary interest was the benefit of the child. And here a child and her mother was asking, we'd like to have our lawyer there. And you did not give the lawyer access. Look, all the circumstances show oppression, show suppression, to the extent whereby they wanted what they got, the state actors, because it is a minister of government of the PPP that was now the subject of that prosecution or subject of that investigation. No doubt in my mind. You know what the police was coming out with publicly all the time? Comrade Shiv Baran, the girl retracted. Then you get the now, I think it's the crime chief, saying that there is a statement, no further action. Why don't they tell us what the girl said officially? Why only what she's saying, no further action or a retraction? They wanted a cover up and they've gotten it here.
And Stabroek News said as much in a recent editorial, Infamy Part 2, said this young lady spent a lot of days putting her case forward, saying this is what happened to me.
Exactly.
The DPP hands the case back to the police, and suddenly she says, I don't want to go forward.
Yeah, well, that is the pressure. Her will was literally sapped, obviously. And when she now realized that she can't even get what is called her own legal representation, when obviously there was terrorizing tactics saying, girl, you're going to have to spend a long time in here, that is what the mom had indicated to me. That is why she wanted a lawyer independently to go to her. What is happening? And then hush money being paid. The pressures must have come also from other sources too, not necessarily state actors. But girl, you might as well take where you get and along your way. It is an abomination. This thing is so abhorrent and reprehensible, I don't know what to say. But it goes to show, and you know what makes it all the more reprehensible? Is the fact that these women inside of that government shut their bloody mouths now. Not one utterance from them. You're trying to get on to them, you can't get on to them. From Vindi, from Priya, to a whole lot of them. What have you to say? You know what they're saying? Let the course be taken. Let due process be taken. What due process? They lock up this girl and they freed the suspect. He was on $1 million bail. I hear it was like self-bail too. I hope he paid up the $1 million. And who was there being interrogated? And they can come out and lie. Could you imagine the Child Protection Agency lied and said that we did not deny the girl legal representation? I was there on the 21st of the morning.
And up to now, no lawyer has been able to.
Exactly. I was there for about an hour and a half, waiting on the child to come. And they told me no. And even when I wanted to be at the interview of the brother, who is not in protective custody, they denied me that too. The little brother who was watching television, or who was put to watch television by the minister. And these are the things. And now I wanted the code of conduct. I have now gotten it. The code of conduct never prevented any legal representation independent for the child. And they were telling me, no, that is against the protocol.
Wow. It's quite interesting. This case has a lot of implications, not only for a lot of agencies, for a lot of people. In one of those purported statements that we have seen that constitute some of the allegations that are being made against Minister Nigel Dharamlall, the young lady says that Dharamlall gave her the president's number to message him and tell you everything okay.
Look, the thing got plenty more. And that is a dangerous piece. Probably they don't want to bring those who the girls spoke to. But I saw that statement now because it's a whistleblower has given me. And now that it involves him because the girl is saying that he indeed was given a message or something of the sort. Isn't that so? And that is dangerous. What did the president's action that followed were? What were they? Look, this thing requires, in my opinion, asking the United Nations Rights of Child Commission to send down some experts to do an inquiry as to the investigation, supervise or oversight the entire investigation process. I do not believe in any of the police force here now going to do that. And just like how for the elections and all of that, we wanted overseas observers, bring in the overseas supervisors and experts here. Let us see what transpired. And UNICEF. And you could get a CARICOM official too. An independent body made up of people that have expertise and experience in handling an investigation of this sort. I remember, you know, Sharon, when we were doing that Sexual Offences Act in 2010, Priya Manik-Chan, Frank Anthony, Anil Nandalal, they spoke and they said that how we are now going to have a modern legislation that is going to look after the child's affairs, the victim's affairs, because indeed we were having a huge increase in criminal sexual offenses by young people, done on to young people. And they were saying that this Sexual Offences Act, which indeed it's true, is going to give further special treatment for young people who have been sexually assaulted. one of the first tests now in relation to this matter when it comes to one of the big boys is what? You make the girl be pressured into coming to a position of, I enable them, withdraw this, I discontinue further action. It is a shame, and we will need that inquiry and recommendations from that inquiry to let the police and the child protection agencies know what they must do. And so that the international best practices can come from these people that know. And even if this case could be reopened because there is absolutely no time bar or statute of limitations for rape, this should be the concern now. Once the girl is now comfortable in her own environment, she can proceed. Apparently, the powers that be want her to have given statements retracting, so that whenever she comes up for cross-examination or so on in the court, oh yeah, 2 times you retract. The girl is speaking the truth. I cannot believe. And that new act that we have had mentioned all of that. And even the speakers on about that act, these 3 names that I called, they were saying, yes, indeed, they do away with corroboration. They're putting the sworn testimony of the girl could be the only evidence given that could convict. You don't need corroborative evidence and so on like in the olden times. And so if you could do that for a conviction, why couldn't you do that for a charge?
Kamal, we're thinking down the line, and I think you've been in this business long enough to know you can't put nothing past the PPP. Worst case, the PPP says there are no charges to be laid. Where is the country?
Well, we are no place.
It's business as usual. Dharamlall back in line.
Exactly.
Assembly.
Well, that is where we now have to carry the fight. It must be a sustained fight against Dharamlall being in Parliament and in the cabinet. And there are principles and precepts already set in countries like Westminster democracies like ours, whereby this kind of standard have not been reached for him to be there. And there is a convention that could be used by the president, individual ministerial responsibility. He ought to ask Dharamlall for his resignation. And if he does not give the resignation, he should say, Dharamlall, you're dismissed. Remember, the president is the one who can dismiss at pleasure any minister. I understand there is a tit for tat between Jagdeo and Irfan Ali on this issue. Jagdeo wants him to be there no matter what. And Jagdeo generally gets his way. Because, of course, as we have been saying, this just now president, hold on, just now, I can deal with it just now. It is crazy. He must stamp his authority and do not allow his cabinet to be tarnished and tainted by a fellow of that character who would have committed these heinous crimes. Because a lot of people must understand that the girl, when she said no further action, did not say that what I'm saying is untruths. It is the truth. And this president, Irfan Ali, must take hold. He must take the bull by the horns and say, hold on a minute. Out you go. I can't allow that. Imagine the prime minister, the female prime minister of Trinidad, Kamala, for minor offenses. One of the ministers slap your girlfriend or something. Out you go. This one go and sodomize and rape, and in he stays? What kind of country we will become? And these are the people who says that the opposition members and so on are made up of gangsters. Look at the gangsterism we got inside there now. Holy shameless lot. And although he might feel exonerated because the DPP might withdraw charges, let me tell him one time, the shame is greater than the exoneration. And the whole thing was twisted up. The girl was in the lockups in that scenario of being in custodial, in protective custody. And so the whole thing shifted around. The axis of justice then went awry in this case. And so to write it, at least the minimum the president could do is to say, Dharamlall, I don't want you in my cabinet. I don't want you in parliament. And this is a man, as you know, who tell a parliamentarian, is dildo you want? And you, Sherrod, get penalized for being strong-handed in the sense of saying that he ought to be reprimanded. He wasn't reprimanded. You were the one. 4 days suspension, wasn't it?
4 sittings.
Yeah, 4 sitting suspension. And he come out with a half-scald apology.
And no salary too. Now looking for.
Yes.
They took away my salary.
And they took away his salary.
Yeah. I wasn't the one who made the comment.
Exactly. I don't know what we're getting here as a country, especially with these people in the PPP now governing. That is why I've said elections alone does not make a democracy. It's governance, the rule of law. The 2 other important pillars. And we're not seeing it. And now it was a complicity to subvert an investigation, to get the girl. And this was the police from the very inception, starting with Comrade Shivbaran. And it ended up exactly, get the girl there for all that long time. Our democracy has made some retrograde steps. It has retreated several points as a result of what has happened here. And we must not allow this thing to pass. As I have said, we got to have a sustained assault on this piece of criminality by not only the minister now, but all those who seek to circle the wagon around him. They must come out and speak out. This must not happen. And at best, get the DPP to reopen the investigation to the extent of stating that we will continue as of the date before the 28th. That is what should happen here. Because the entire text and the entire context of the Sexual Offences Act is for support for the victim. That is not what happened here.
Well, it's gangsterism in there now. Gangsterism in the PPP. Gangsterism in Freedom House. Gangsterism in the scamp net. It's not a cabinet. It's a scamp net. It's a rapist net. It's a cabinet. Gangsterism. We're talking there with Comrade Ramjatan, attorney for the mother, for the interest of the young lady, the girl, 16 years old. 16. Look, some of the headlines we're following quickly, folks. We're in at round 7. It's a 10-round fight tonight. We're in round 7. You're going to hear from Simone Broomes. Coming up. Coming up. Simone Broomes firing on all 6, on all 8 cylinders. Firing. It's a rapist net. It's not a cabinet. Some folks say it's a bugger net. It's not a cabinet. It's a rape net. Cabinet, scamp net, rape net. News source. One of the first valuable and credible information via news source. Brought this news tonight. DPP advises police against proceeding with rape investigation against Minister Nigel Dharamlall. News source. You heard it first there, folks. News source. Stabroek News told us that Childlink defends its conduct in the case of rape complaint against Dharamlall. Childlink got a lot of questions to answer for. Let me try to see why. We want to hear what Childlink do. Childlink, you're getting yourself involved in problems. Village Voice told us this is when attorney at law, also for the family, Dexter Todd and Associates, learned about this statement that the girl don't want to go forward with the case. A comment attributed to Todd, Village Voice. Todd said, this country has embarrassed, that's the headline, this country has embarrassed itself to a high degree. The system was made a mockery. Stabroek News again. The Ghana Human Rights Authority says public interest demands trial for Dharamlall. Stabroek News. That's what the Ghana Human Rights Association said. And then the Mara Waves told us activists demand support for Dharamlall rape complainant. That's what the protest was about. Support this young lady. She needs your support and still need it even more so in the day ahead. Even more so in the days ahead. Coming up, Simone Broomes. But first, folks, the unions came out against Dharamlall as well. Union leader, Nurse Witter, we spoke with him on the front lines of those protests quite recently, folks. We spoke with a trade unionist, veteran trade unionist, Nurse Witter. Here's what he had to say. Take a look, take a listen. Share the damn live. I know some of y'all spellbound, checking everything, but what y'all hand to? Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us, folks. Partner with us too. We don't run out of water. Nurse Witter, trade unionist.
I have a difficulty in referring to this thing as one minister Dharamlall. As my placard will show, it has Mr. Dildo must go. But even the Mr. is written in uplifted comma. Because the behavior of this thing questions whether it is a human being or a beast. But even to refer to the thing as a beast, I submit will be an embarrassment to beasts. So I do not know what to call this alien. However, to answer your question more directly, the trade union movement is a rights-based organization. It is an organization that subscribes to the struggle of not only workers' rights, but the rights of all people, wherever they are. And those rights includes among them political, civil, human, legal, moral, and ethical rights. This heinous act committed by this beast violates all those rights that I've alluded to. It is, against what is being said, a political issue, because it was through the political process that the beast became a minister and a member of parliament. It is an economic issue because the very fact, as alleged, that the parent of the victim was paid $10 million hush money suggests that the powerful felt power in terms of having held office or still holding office, and power in the sense that he has access to enormous wealth, that they can bribe and buy out anybody. It is a cultural issue also. It is religious, but more than that, it is a human rights issue and a moral and ethical issue. The labor movement subscribes and holds very dearly to the respect of those rights. You would have noted that shortly after this incident became public knowledge, the Guyana Trade Union Congress, under its General Secretary, Comrade Lincoln Lewis, issued a statement condemning the action of this individual. I am personally, and the labor movement is somewhat disturbed that the other confederation, that is the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Guyana, has not to date issued any statement of condemnation. We are still hopeful that good sense will prevail and they will do so. Now, what is being, the message that is being sent to us very clearly, that there is a prowler, that there is a predator or predators on the prowl. And why do I say predators? Apart from he who is alleged to have committed this dastardly act, Mr. Dildo, one can only reason that the fact that the others are circling the wagon, they are giving protection to Mr. Dildo, it is because Mr. Dildo has some secrets for them. It may be a case of mutual blackmail. If you don't protect me, I'm going to talk with y'all, let's do too. You understand? There are some damning information coming out of the regions since this matter with Mr. Dildo became public. We are hearing about a number of persons in high offices who are also guilty of similar practices. No wonder some of them are afraid to speak. But the truth, you know, there's an old saying, you can tie the truth like the truth is like a cork. You can tie it with wire to the biggest piece of iron and throw it in the deepest creek. Someday, the wire will corrode and the truth will float. You understand? You could fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You understand? The struggle for justice for the victim who is being re-victimized over and over again must continue. And this struggle must continue to its logical conclusion. And what do I mean when I say it must continue to its logical conclusion? I mean that Mr. Dildo must go. He must go from Parliament. He must go as a minister. And he must also go to jail. Thank you.
Yep. You heard it there. Beast. Beast. Simone know the whole story. Simone know the whole story. The whole story. She said being given up. Remember Cambridge says we have to have a sustained activism. Sustained protest against this madness. You better share the damn live. You better smash the emoji button. Simone know the whole story. Whole story. Somebody say blinking coming. Somebody say blinking. Should know the whole story. Don't take me word for it. Take a listen. Foreign Minister Simone Broomes. She can sweep them out. Them in the nastiness. She can sweep them out. Shalimar. Shalimar. She can sweep out your nastiness. She can sweep it out. All of it. Set a nastiness. Take a look, take a listen on the front lines of the protest.
I saw something out there on social media, I think it was a news source, that alleged that it came from the crime chief, saying that the young lady, they don't wish to pursue any further investigation. I don't know what that means. But it did not say that the young lady was asking not for the matter to be wrapped up, finished with, or the statements that she gave before she's asking for them to withdraw it. So I don't know what is the confusion out there. You don't know what to believe. You don't know what is truth. You don't know what is anything. You, like me, were outside of the office of the DPP when we learned that this file is sent back to the police. Why? We don't know. All right? But the public, like myself, we don't have confidence in nothing that is taking place. But what we are asking for, and we are here today, is to say, listen, justice must be served. Dharamlall must have his day in court. Even if the young lady said, listen, I want to go further, it means that he's innocent. It means that his statement ain't stand. And today we have past judge, so many lawyers, and we're talking about sodomy. You don't have to want to, and you don't have to get all this evidence and all of that. So I'm saying, for me, the decent thing, I would have loved to see the state and the president in this case having some respect for Guyanese and for our women and girls. sending the strongest message, starting by having Dharamlall removed from the parliament and as a minister of government immediately upon the allegation. But not to come out here with all these hoobly-doobly, including the other we named Nandalal, or what's his name, let me some Lal, Dharamlall, Nandalal, whatever it be, to say yes, oh, he's innocent until, but there's a serious allegation level against him. And for less than that, we find persons in prison. You know, a judge the other day apologized to a prison, somebody who spent 5.5 years in prison. And then the probably come to say we have no evidence in this matter with an allegation of rape. Just an allegation, 5.5 years. But Dharamlall walk into breakdown and walk out back like a clown. Because they ain't clowning nobody, them is a pack of clowns to say you get put on $1 million bail. I think it is shameful and the decent thing to do. We will not stop. The other day I was outside of the embassy, the US embassy. Listen, I don't even care if I can walk the highway with a placard. Blinken will not come here and then hear about this matter. Because I call upon the US to say, listen, based on the information out there, I'm calling on you to look for child trafficking. I am qualified to make that call. It was the United States of America who gave me that award in 2013. I know what I'm smelling. I know what I'm asking for. And I'm saying that when Blinken comes, he must go back and tell Biden that the people in Guyana is saying, US, we disappointed in you. Their silence, we don't like it. Not when it comes to our girls. Not when it comes to the female in this country. I stand for all Guyanese. Girl, boys, and all of them. But let me tell you, I am passionate with the matter with girls. I see this matter before my eyes. I know what they're going through. I know about these matters. And everybody continue to roll over with it. You know how many children, how many girls out there with rape? And it's not like they didn't speak up and all this speak out and all this drama. And what is happening here now? The state is making it clear to girls. You try with what come your way. Because we said no matter what you talk, when it comes to women, it's still innocent. They ain't gonna go to court. They ain't going in the lockup. Shift you around in some places like I don't know what. Where is this young lady? Huh? They were buying time to soften because they tried it. Early in the investigation, when we saw none other than some so-called commander getting involved in statement to say she wants story and to accept the allegation of $10 million. And so when that one didn't fly, you look in, so they're keeping her all the time. Just to compromise this young lady to step away. But you know what? It will not happen. Dharamlall cannot step away. This government cannot step away. I'm saying he gotta go. He gotta go and he gotta go now. I don't want to hear no statement coming from no crime chief. If the crime chief, they could put wanted bulletin for people for nothing at all. What they could really put out there to tell me that I could believe. What they could put out there to tell me that I must believe. Eh? Not at all. Listen, when I see news from the police, I skip past it. Zoop! Me paying attention to the two times. I didn't want to confuse my brains. What's the next Lion Nancy story is this now? They've lost credibility. And with this matter to come out at this state, and when the public and everybody's out there, I love. When the DPP put a statement and say, listen, I send this file back for more information. I will not be intimidated. One would have expected that the police would have do what they got to do and send this file back. But there the confusion come. But you know what? God will continue to confuse them. All the wrong moves coming forward. Listen, they're in shambles. They're in shambles. They're confused. They don't know what to do, what to say, and when to say it. So the public, we are happy because they're showing the cards and they're showing it early. And we will not stop. And you see what's going on here, Sherrod? These are not politicians. We just made a call a few days. I said on social media, so many persons inboxing me. And I said today it's holiday. I will come out of the square and reason. And this is a reasoning. This is a wonderful reason. And as you could see, I mean, the police here today and the set of protecting us, right? We are here, and I'm happy that as Guyanese and as women and as mothers, we can vent. We can come out and we can make our voices heard. We are the voice for the voiceless. I'm standing here today for that young lady and all the young ladies, all the boys and girls, all the Guyanese people. That voice when you need it. All of us, we can't be cowards. We can't be cowards. And I will not stop. I will not rest, Sherrod, because this is no time for rest. Right? And in this time, I stand resolute. I stand to the call of a nation crying, the call of a child crying. There's a voice crying from behind a wall somewhere with a rag, with a hair tie, with a curtain tie around her mouth. But little do they know that while they tie her mouth out inside here, they got many outside here. And we will stand up and we will continue to make that call for justice for this young lady with this allegation of rape against a sitting minister. He has disgraced us as a people in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Don't worry, hubbly dubbly. Don't come wrong, Simone. With the hubbly dubbly, we're going to intensify the protest, folks. Stay tuned. You got to come out and be counted. Now is the time. If there ever was a moment in this nation's history, now is the time. Folks, but we end on a high note. A note parallel to Simone's note, but on a different level. Because each of us as Guyanese got to contemplate where we are in our nation's history. And who got we there? We saw on the front line Lawrence Haywood, elder, a Christian brethren. He's not political. He is not political. We had to talk to him like we talked to so many others on the protest line. On the front line, where were you? Are you standing to be counted? And he said, moral leadership in this country is what is lacking. Moral leadership. Don't go nowhere. I agree with them totally. Moral leadership is lacking. You got the bug net, the scamp net. It's not a cabinet. The thieving net, the corruption net is not a cabinet. Moral leadership is lacking. Don't take it from me. As we bring the curtains down in the Coliseum, in the stadium, in the arena tonight, Elder Lawrence Haywood, take a listen to what he said. Moral leadership is lacking. You disagree with them? You gotta take a listen first. Don't go nowhere. Don't run. Here's the salt for you.
Recently, I've been thinking of the letters CAIC. Not this time meaning the Consultative Association of Industry and Commerce, but standing for credibility, authority, integrity, and courage. Required character traits at this time. I prefer to start there. We need folk in the land who are credible. They have credibility. I don't mean just good credit ratings. I know they all come from the Latin credo, I believe. But credibility, meaning people of conscience who carry their belief into behavior, their creed into conduct. So when they say yes, as Paul says, their yea is yea and their nay is nay. Credibility. We need that in the nation. In every section of government and every segment and stratum of society. It's a human responsibility thing rather than human rights. Credibility. We need to have a sense of authority. I don't mean being autocratic or authoritarian. But people have a right to exercise power, particularly a moral right. People with such strong consciences that they hear, for instance, the Christ of God saying, all authority is given me in heaven and earth. Go therefore and make a difference in your nations. That kind of authority. I'm not talking about a pecking order. I'm not talking of a penchant for a propensity towards hierarchy and a lot of the foolishness that passes for religion these days, where what matters is what is the seniority of this person in a pecking order. I'm talking about moral authority. Think Rosa Parks, think Martin Luther King, think Daniel Ellsberg, whose story I was looking at just before finding out that there was a session today. Ellsberg was the person responsible for leaking what became known as the Pentagon Papers. Henry Kissinger called him the most dangerous person in America. But they weren't able to do anything in the legislative and judicial system against him because he proved from what was leaked that the crimes were being committed by one of my favorite presidents, JFK, and Lyndon Johnson. He showed that a man of conscience and clarity could see that there is something above the state, that there is a moral order, that God rules in the affairs of men, that there is right that is always right, absolute, and wrong that is absolutely wrong. And we need not coercive power, not reward power, power to promote or pull down, not even legitimate power, meaning, oh, they could prove they are authorized to do this by this thing in the Constitution and that set of standing orders. No. What we need is referent power. Power to be an example. Power to mentor, model, and motivate from the young right through. We need expert power, people who really know. And I'm not talking about book knowledge, book wisdom, book bright people. I'm speaking of people with wisdom. We need credibility, that sort of authority, integrity. We tend to know what that means, I hope. And courage. Courage is a key part of it because so many people know what is right. In their dining rooms, in their bedrooms, where they're drinking buddies, in the hairdressing establishment, would comment on the travesties, on the venalities, on the looseness, licentiousness, lecherousness, lawlessness, characterizing some of the officers and officers of the state. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as a lion. You know, yesterday, this last Sunday, the theme of a message I preached was, who is my sister? Who is my daughter? Remember Christ that trapped a man who was trying to trap him by telling him the parable of the Good Samaritan and then asking, who is my neighbor? I think Christ asked him that. And the man was able to say, he that showed mercy to him. The story is in Luke 10, 25 to 37. We need people who would see that young lady, and there are a lot of cases. This is just the one that has grabbed public attention. It's something that is persistent over time, pervasive in its scope, and progressive in its impact. Rape after rape after rape after rape. And folk have proven long ago that rape is less about lust and more about abuse and misuse of power. It's about taking advantage. We need people of courage. We need people with a real sense of authority. of being made in the image of God. Fearless people. People with integrity. People with credibility to say, let this rot stop here. It pollutes and perverts the entire nation. It's a poison. And those who invest in the poison will soon find that the poison does not discriminate. The Bible says, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the habitation of the just. It is time for God-fearing Guyanese, the religious and the unreligious, the Jew and the Gentile, the Indian, the African, the indigenous, the Chinese, including those who visited us recently and have flourishing business, the Portuguese, and other Europeans, but for all races, to remember all WPA slogan that says, when we win, all races win. I'm not speaking for WPA. I'm borrowing that phrase to say it's not time to keep sheltering under this party umbrella and that party umbrella. We need to be in a place where we could trust God to have the open heaven and he pours down blessing on this land, which we don't even have the room to receive. Something beyond oil, something beyond rare earth, something beyond gold and diamonds, something rooted in the human spirit by which our children grow up. As William Hawley Bryant put it in that beautiful song, born in the land of the mighty Roraima, land of great rivers, far shining sea. So shall like the mountains, the seas, the river, great, wide, and deep in our lives shall we be. Look at the rest of those stanzas, and you'll find that he celebrates the fauna and the flora, the animals and the plants of Guyana, but keeps coming back to the children, speaking of the graces, the goodness and graces, the values and virtues that would mark them out as Guyanese. And long before JFK said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask rather what you can do for your country. That congregational minister, William Hawley Bryant, who wrote that beautiful national song, said, so to the land which to us life has given, may our lives bring a gift. May our lives bring a gift, rich and rare. So might the worth of all Guyana shine with a splendor beyond all compare. I haven't gotten all the words right. But what he was saying, all right, we have the Imataka in the northwest, the Kanuku Mountains, the Pacaraimas in the western interior, hence the reference to Great Roraima. We have the amazing waterways, Demerara, Esquimalt Babis, Pomeroon, amazing waterfalls. But the greatest resource in this land is its people, made in the image of Almighty God, made with spirit, occupying bodies, possessing soul, being spirit. And there's no set of citizens so blessed as the child. When we could use, misuse, and abuse our children in one way or the other, whether in dorms, whether in this way or that, we need desperately, direly, immediately to do what the Bible calls repent, to change our mindset, change our ways, and be who we were made to be, real, authentic, human beings. Martin would say, all God's children. Let's live up to that. That is what our Heavenly Father called us to be and to do. Recently, I've been...
Who vex? That's our program. Chanel Williams, Oswald Jeffrey, Claudine Squires, Linda Booker. Right? Inticab, who said that's we program. Who vex? Celine Fraser. Who vex? We vex some people just talking about spirituality there, you know. Talking about God. We vex some people already. Who vex? Who vex? The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Are you wicked? You all stink and you all dirty. And you all better make the way straight. Right? You all better make the way straight. I'm already persuaded in who I believe. You better make the way straight. Wicked, stink, and dirty. Holiday coming. Holiday coming. Holiday coming. Chisel Chipper. That's it for us tonight, folks. Share the live before you go. Those of you coming back to watch our program, smash that emoji button. 3,800 of y'all still watching us. It's about 9:37 where we are. Apologies, we went a little bit over, folks. But that's our time. That's the program. Who vex? Who vex? That's our time, and that's the program. You don't like it? Fight me. Fight us. Bite off y'all damn ears. Fight me. You don't like it? The truth hurts. Edward Broomes, Coyote, McDonald, Hazel Chase, Sharon, all the other folks. Alson Cortez, respect and manners. That's our time, good folks. And that's our program. That is the time. And that's the program. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, thank you so much. Share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. And if you can, partner with us, because that's what keeps our program going. And here's how you can do so. Here is how. Here's how you can do so.
Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
Let's fight!
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in the ring592 at gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments. Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
Let's fight!
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in the ring592 at gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments.
That's the last bell, folks. That's the last bell. That's the time. That's our program. Stay safe out there, folks. Stay safe. Candide Inderjeet, Candide Lead Inderjeet, Leslyn Thompson, Coyote McDonald, Alson Cortez, Joy Dotson. That's it. Stay safe.